Though they had reached the final 7 of the last 9 years, each trip had ended in agonizing defeat.
It was the most disgusting personal period I've ever had in my life. I wanted to win a championship, and I really didn't think that was ever going to happen.
With Elgin Baylor's retirement prior to the 1972 season, it began to look like time had passed the aging Lakers by.
Now I'm playing with a Laker team that has the great Jerry West, who was in his twilight, and Wilt Chamberlain, who was in his twilight, and Gil Goodrich, as far as was the star of the team, and names that you would not even know. I can't even tell you who the heck they were. You understand? We did not have this awesome talent.
Now a less overpowering team, these Lakers would have to redefine their roles. And newly appointed Captain Wilt Chamberlain would lead the way.
I was now the defensive part of this team, and that was what my job was all about, getting the ball and playing defense and giving the ball to these guys. So it just kind of all worked out really, really well. And as we meshed, we amassed numbers that were unbelievable.
Playing off Wilt, the other Lakers were each at the top of their games. And none flourished more than Goodrich and West, combining to score over 52 points per game. They made the Lakers almost impossible to stop.
All of a sudden, this team started winning basketball games. And we went along and went along and went along. 1 month went by, 2 months went by.
When you get to 17, 18, 19 wins, now people are saying, like, wow, can they ever lose?
Piling up victory after victory, the Lakers became more cohesive with every game.
We did everything the way the coach wanted, and everything worked for us. And it got to be almost funny because we knew no one could beat us. I mean, we felt invincible.
For 33 straight contests, the Lakers were invincible as they compiled a modern-day sports record win streak. They would go on to win 69 regular season games, the most in NBA history. But the Laker veterans knew that the postseason would be their time of judgment.
I always felt that Wilt, in some respects, has gotten a bum rap for not winning more championships. Wilt Chamberlain, like Jerry West, was probably the best runner-up in most occasions.
Despite their magnificent season, these Lakers knew that if they failed to lift their finals hex, they would be remembered only as losers. As they had in 1970, they would face the Knicks. But this year, there would be no miracle upsets. The Lakers were also Rands no longer, dispatching New York in 5 games. They would go down in history as one of the NBA's greatest winners.
Goodrich passes under to Wilt. He's got it. He puts it up and slam dunk.
This was something that I'd hoped and wished for in the earlier days of my career. It was wonderful. We finally won.
For that Laker team to do what they did, I still think that they did more in the game of basketball than the other team for the talent that they had.
With their 69 wins that year, the Lakers set a league record that stood until 1996, when the Bulls won 72 games. And the one real difference between the 71 Lakers and the 72 team was head coach Bill Sharman. And what was his impact on that team? How did he get Wilt to buy into more of this defensive rebounding approach?
Well, first of all, I think he made him captain. That was the first thing. But, you know, Sharman definitely was the architect of this team. I mean, he came to Los Angeles and really put together an offensive-minded team, much like the Celtics that he had played on, and much like what Red Auerbach had taught him, in the fact that we were a team now that, you know, we averaged 121 points that year. I mean, we were out there and running it, and the 5 starters averaged 98. I mean, we played a lot of minutes, and but we were in great condition, and you know, we got the ball off the boards, and we were out and running, filling the lanes, and we're on the break. And Wilt, he went to Wilt, and he said, look, Wilt, you need to play a little bit more like Bill Russell in a sense. He says, these guys can score, they can run. He says, you get the ball out, you may not even have to come over half court, and we're going to extend your career.
I spoke to Bill Sharman this past week, and he said the idea with Wilt was
nobody told Wilt anything. So his thing was, when they were at a practice or with the rest of the team at a shoot-around, whatever, which by the way, Bill Sharman started that year, first time ever in basketball, he would say to Wilt, we're playing such and such. What do you think? We're going to run the high post or the low post? What are your ideas on that? And Wilt loved to talk. So Wilt would expound and expound and expound, and then Bill would say, I never thought of that. And he'd pick up on something that he said, and he'd make Wilt think that he came up with the idea. He said sometimes he did. He said, but that's how he handled it. So just to kind of handle Sharman, he knew the game and he knew people.
Well, that's exactly right. And sometimes he'd say, well, Will, I think you might be right, but he says, maybe we should try it this way. If that doesn't work, we can do it this other way.
You've got to empathize with your employee, and to ingratiate yourself to the big man, you got to pass it to him like Gale did in that highlight we just saw.
That was his one assist.
All year, right? Hey, up next, we take a closer look at a record that still stands and still boggles the brain. The Lakers' incredible run of 33 straight wins. Keep it here on NBA Ball. When the Lakers moved to Los Angeles, it was Elgin Baylor who helped put them on the map with his dazzling brand of basketball. But age and injuries caught up with Elgin, and he retired 9 games into the historic 1972 season. It marked the end of one story, but the beginning of another. The day after Elgin said goodbye, the Lakers started winning. And they didn't stop winning until they had won 33 in a row. Here's more on the streak from the 1972 Lakers Year in Review.
Elgin's jersey was retired, and young Jim McMillan, number 5, took over. But after a fast start, the Lakers slowed down. West and Keith Erickson were hurt, and it wasn't until a seemingly routine game against the Baltimore Bullets that the Laker fortunes turned. Behind Wilt Chamberlain's rebounding and Gail Goodrich's scoring, the Lakers led by 4 points after 3 quarters. The Lakers held on to win, and little did anyone realize that more than 2 months would pass before they would lose another basketball game. After the initial win against Baltimore, Los Angeles picked up momentum until the NBA win streak was in sight. These were team victories now, a team that included a healthy Jerry West. But perhaps their biggest reason for success was number 13, Wilt Chamberlain, whose awesome domination on defense inspired all the Lakers and often started what was to become a familiar sight. At home or away, the Laker fast break. Number 52, Happy Hairston, was frequently on the receiving end of the break pass. And this incredible show wasn't limited to the starting 5. Newcomer John Q. Trapp came off the bench to spark 2 of the victories. Big Leroy Ellis back with the Lakers. And number 12, Pat Riley, seemed to be everywhere at once. And when the ball got to a third new Laker, Flynn Robinson, it was instant point. Consecutive wins 18 and 19 were achieved, and Bill Sharman and his assistant, K.C. Jones, plotted for more. Los Angeles tied the record when they beat Phoenix in overtime for win number 20. Now the record for the most consecutive wins, held by the Milwaukee Bucks, was on the line against the always dangerous Atlanta Hawks. The Lakers poured it on, and they were coasting when Pistol Pete Maravich brought the crowd to its feet, and the Lakers back to reality. With just over a minute to play, the Hawks were closing in, and the record was in jeopardy. It was time for another Laker extra effort, and they got it. Leroy Ellis broke free, and Jerry West hit him for the biggest dunk of the year. And Los Angeles finally pulled away. And then the lightning-quick hands of West struck again, and Atlanta was finished. The record was theirs, and the game ball went to Coach Bill Sharman, the master architect of the new Los Angeles Lakers. Most thought the win streak might end at 21, but it continued, and the attendance grew. Packed houses greeted them at home as well as on the road. The Lakers were now a national sensation. Each game was tougher than the last, and as the pressure built, every opponent wanted to be the one to end the streak. Now, 11 wins after the record 21st, the Lakers were in Atlanta to prove to Hawk coach Richie Guerin win number 21 was no fluke, and they did just that. Coach Sharman had his team ready, and they literally ran circles around the erratic Hawks. Jim McMillan was the game-tie scorer with 26 points, and this convincing and unprecedented 33rd straight win now took on more importance as the Lakers traveled to Milwaukee to face the world champion Bucks and their avid fans.
And it was the defending champion Bucks who would finally topple the Lakers. But the 33-game winning streak is the longest in professional sports history. And Peter, after Elgin retired, Jim McMillan took over his position, and what effect did that have on the team?
Well, first of all, this team was all about sacrifice. Wilt was sacrificing points for the good of the team. Jerry West was sacrificing shots to Gail Goodrich for the good of the team. Gail led the team by 1/10 of a point over West in that year, but West led the league in assists with 9.7. But Baylor sacrificed more than anybody, because when he saw that the style of play was not conducive to his style of play, he couldn't go up and down anymore. He had basically 2 career-ending injuries where they didn't have the kind of technology they have today that can cure that stuff, or at least make it, not cure it, but make you better. So he decided to retire 9 games into the season. It was his idea. He came over to Sharman. Jim McMillan told me earlier this week that he heard about it on television. He was home, and the announcement came on the air. He said he had no idea. But he was playing so well at that time, and he was an up-tempo type of player, and so he fit right in with what Bill Sharman was trying to do.
Right, absolutely. And, McMillan averaged 19 points a game for us that year, but he was really a really terrific defensive player. And, he just added so much to our team. He was able to get out and run, and we again, be a very offensive-minded team. But defensively, he would be able to take the forward, the best forward on another team. And actually in Milwaukee, when Bobby Dandridge was playing for Milwaukee, he caused us problems before. But McMillan came in, really sort of shut him down. And then, of course, later in the year when we play against the Knicks, he really takes Bradley right out of the series.
So the Lakers had put together a record-setting season, but they still had to close the deal in the postseason. And we'll open the vault for the 1972 finals when we come back. Welcome back. After tearing up the league in the regular season, the Lakers continued their roll through the playoffs. First, they swept the Bulls in 4 straight, then dethroned the defending champion Bucks in 6 in the conference finals. But everything they had done to that point would have seemed like an empty accomplishment unless they could finish the job by defeating the Knicks in the NBA Finals. So let's take you back to the 1972 Championship Series.
The people of Los Angeles could almost taste the ultimate victory. But standing in the way were the Eastern Conference champions, New York Knickerbockers. They came to town with the sky-high bombs of center Jerry Lucas and a lot more. The Knicks are the most disciplined of the league's teams, and with stars like Bill Bradley and Walt Frazier at every position, they won Game 1 very easily. But with the uncanny assists of Jerry West and the scoring of Chamberlain and Gail Goodrich, the Lakers bounced back and took the next 2. In New York for Game 4, the championship pressure was mounting. Happy Harrison's spectacular rebound late in the game took care of a crucial Knicks scoring opportunity. But then Dancing Harry tried to take care of Harrison and the rest of the Lakers all by himself. The heck was put on by the East Coast superfans, but the Lakers weren't about to be distracted. Only 30 seconds remained, and Los Angeles decided to set up for one shot. The score was tied, 99-99. As the clock ticked away, the ball went to the greatest scorer in playoff history, Jerry West, and all of New York held its breath. again. And with 11 seconds left, the Knicks call time, trailing now by 2 big points. Dave DeBusschere forced an off-balance shot that missed. But an amazing Walt Frazier tip-in with 3 seconds left tied the game again. And Game 4 went into overtime. Coach Sharman knew the Knicks had to win here to stay close to the Lakers in the series. The overtime period proved to be almost anticlimactic as the Lakers went right to work. Number 5, Jim McMillan, who had been cold in regulation play, suddenly got hot. And now a quiet New York crowd watched their heroes fall behind. As they headed from the Forum locker room, the Lakers should have been elated. But they were as apprehensive as their fans because Wilt Chamberlain had a badly sprained right wrist. And even if he could play, no one knew how effective he would be. The packed Forum gave them a thundering ovation. And all eyes watched as the big fellow gave the first test to his bandaged hand. Despite the defense of Hairston and 14 rebounds by the ever-present Chamberlain, the score of Game 5 was tied at halftime. It was now or never for both teams, but it was the Lakers who jumped ahead. They led by 7 points well into the fourth quarter, and the New Yorkers began to hurry their shots. Their uncanny long-range accuracy deserted them, and the Lakers started running. Los Angeles was on its way to the title, and their championship star fans were delirious with joy. There was no question about it. Wherever you looked, the Lakers were number 1. At last, the moment Lakers fans had been waiting for 12 years. The game and the waiting were over. The Lakers had won the NBA championship. They were the winningest team in history. Most wins in a season. Most consecutive wins. And now the World Championship. After 7 heartbreaking tries, Jerry West had more than earned his reward. But this incredible season was a credit to many men.
Despite his wrist injury, Wilt had 24 points and 29 rebounds in the series-clinching Game 5, and the Big Dipper was named Finals MVP. But along with the joy of victory, Gail, I would imagine there was also a sense of relief.
Well, it was just a great satisfaction. It was a culmination of just an incredible season, and everything went together. In Game 5, one of my memories, it's pretty interesting. Wilt, of course, was playing volleyball at the time, just starting to play. And I'm driving to the Forum that last game, Game 5. I have to pass Inglewood High School, and that's where Paul Pierce actually went to high school. But on the marquee, it says volleyball, and it says Wilt Chamberlain, and it's the Friday night. We're playing on a Wednesday. So if we lose Wednesday, we got to go back to New York for Game 6. I went to the game. I said, oh, we're in good shape. There's no way. Wilt's scheduled a volleyball game. There's no way we're going back. We're going to win this ball game tonight. Then he goes out and gets 24 and 29.
He saw that movie. You know, you talk about the emptiness. You know, you talked about at the beginning there that if they had lost, right, it would have been an empty feeling, the 33-game winning streak. And in speaking to Sharman earlier this week, he said to me that he never shared this with anyone before, and he certainly didn't talk about it to the team during that streak or afterward. But once they won the 33 games, he felt that pressure. He felt that if they did not win the championship, that streak was meaningless. And he lived with that pressure that whole season. And he just told me that this week. I thought that was unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think most of the players really felt that we were going to win. I mean, you know, we saw Jerry West say, look, we went out there, we thought we were invincible. And I think from the players' perspective, that was really true. That we went out there and we thought that we were going to win the game.
So where's that championship ring?
I have it. It's in the safe.
Okay, now bring it out here.
I'm actually putting it in the vault.
Understood. Well, Rick Perry wears his, you don't wear yours. Everybody's different with that sort of stuff. Hey, we got to take a quick time out. We're coming back to wrap up the show and talk about the man who guided the remarkable Lakers team, head coach Bill Sharman.
best play to get the pick and roll on is 22.
Yeah.
Where you get the ball and close it, one step in, and you like Kelvin King and drop the pass.
Yeah.
Supposed to pass it over there.
Well, I should make that clear then. If the pass is not there, if somebody else is open, or if you got a shot before you complete the play,
You could probably talk all day about some of the things that happened that year, but it was just one of those years where I had great players. We were lucky enough to avoid key injuries. When we started out pretty quick winning, and then we got on that win streak. And the more you win, the more everybody is happy and enjoyable and in good humor. So that was just an unbelievable, enjoyable year.
Bill Sharman is one of only 3 people elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame as both a player and a coach. And one of his innovations has become an NBA fixture, the game day shoot-around. How did that come about? Well, what was up with the game day shoot-around that's now a staple?
He wanted everybody to get to the game, to the shoot-around there, and to get a feel for the ball and get a feel for the shot, and really to see the ball going in the hoop. We discuss a few things that the other team was going to do. And then we go back to the hotel or you go home, depending where you were.
There's a story that's absolutely wrong that everyone tells over the years that Wilt said, you know, you want me in the morning or do you want me at night? And Sharman said he never said that. He said, you know, we'll see how things go. If we're winning and I see it's doing well, then fine. He missed 2 practices that season. He said he called them both times, and he said he wouldn't be there, 2 shoot-arounds. And he said he wouldn't be there. But other than that, he bought into it.
Well, Gail, you don't have the ring here, but congratulations on winning it. Peter, great job by you as well. So for Gail Goodrich, Peter Vecsey, and our entire NBA TV crew, we got a split. And you know what? It's been a fun time here on NBA Vault. I'm Rick Kamla. We'll see you next time. How about
a high-flying